will be done.
Yes.
Hey everybody, today we're going to have an interview with Laurie and Tony. They're on the Library Foundation. They're going to tell us about what's going on with the library, the donations that they've received, and what's going on with renovations, and when we should expect to have the library opened. I hope you enjoyed the video.
My name is Tony Leung, and I come from Hong Kong about 4 years ago to Panama. And we've been in Volcan for a little bit over 3 years now. But I've a lot of years of experience in charitable work. So I have some experience with NGO and also with fundraising events, and I think that's the reason why when Chris Thomas and Cher talked about it, they wanted to get me to get involved. I think they thought that I could have some value there, and so that's really what I'm keen to do. So that's the continuation with my passions of being able to give back to the community, and that's really what it is.
I'm Laurie Leung. I'm American, but I've spent the last 42 years, before we came to Panama, in Asia, 10 in the Philippines and 32 in Hong Kong, and have some experience with volunteer work in Hong Kong as well.
The library was founded in, I think, 1961 by an Oblate Benedictine monk called Brother Eldred Wetley. He came here with some other monks from Colorado, and together with John Felix, they started the agricultural school and the library. And he is credited with teaching loads of people from Volcan English, and he's revered by the community, anybody who knew him. And we have people coming in saying, yes, he taught me English and it allowed me to go to school in Panama City or to get this job or that job. And they love him, they love his memory. But when he died in 2009, I think, the library continued until 2013. I'm not sure who ran it during that time, but then they closed it. So the idea to open it came from Chris Thomas, who's a librarian by profession and lives in Volcan. And she gathered a group of people together, and we started working to see what we could do. And John Felix's son, Gregorio Felix, is the administrator for the whole compound. And we got permission from him to start working, and we came in with a lot of volunteers, Panamanian and expats, and cleared out the books. We separated the ones that could still be used, and we got rid of the ones that, they'd just been eaten into, or they were so moldy, or they were so out of date that they were useless. But those that we could use, we kept. And I think we kept a couple thousand.
4,000.
4,000, okay. So we have 7,000 books now ready to go when we can open. And those are all donations for the most part.
Some have been purchased, some are new books, children books mostly. We bought a batch book from Colombia. 7,000 right now what we have, and I think Chris wanted to have 10,000 to start out. So we still got a few thousand to work on. We've got a few months to work on that. So either we're gonna continue to collect more books from donations. There's plenty of donations here. 10,000 to me sounds like a lot, but once you start to put on the shelves and the size of the books, it's actually not that much. So we still got some space to fill up yet.
So in 22, we started work on creating a foundation, a nonprofit foundation. We got it, it took us about a year to get it approved. And in the meantime, we were still raising money, but it's hard if you don't have a proper foundation to raise money. And we did quite well at the Parada the first year. And we have jars all over town. We've had fundraising events, we have bazaars, we have parties. And we've had a couple of large donations from companies. Natterby's donated money. A company called ENX, it continues to donate monthly.
Jansen
family has donated money. And a few other people who don't want to be named have donated a significant amount.
We had thought that it will be done within a year. That was my goal. And then didn't recognize even just registering the foundation took a year. Then we realized we have to set up the bank account, and that took 4 months. So it ended up taking over a year and a half to get the operation set up. And that is actually very important for us, the foundation, because from day one, when I came in to set up the operation, I want to make sure that the mandate, the vision, missions, everything's very clear. The accountings are very clear. Everyone has a clear vision what this library is about, a community center, with the library, with children. So we all, when the board member comes in, we all have the same understanding what the goal is.
The first thing we did was put out a questionnaire to the public through Facebook and on the street and say, what do you want from the library? And do you want to borrow books? Do you want internet? Do you want English lessons? Do you want other, tutoring? And by and far, English is the big thing that people want.
Yeah, English classes. We also want to, Chris Thomas' vision is to have this as a children's area. She really believed in having children getting involved and getting, interesting books will start to diffuse into more people.
And one thing the library used to do when it was open, they had toys that you could check out on Sundays. And I would love to be able to do that again. Or maybe get some arts and crafts classes going, just, for fun. And it could be also another way to teach English or Spanish.
Yeah.
Is to have kids come for an arts and crafts hour, and you have two teachers, one English speaking and or you have one bilingual teacher, and teach kids stuff.
But we also want to have a center here that could serve the community besides just a library. This library is one aspect, but using it as a gathering place for teenagers, a community place for other activities, which is also something we could do. And we have amazing, beautiful grounding here. So Gregorio said, use it too. So we're trying to expand a bit more besides just the library, and hopefully be an area where families, children, teenagers can use it comfortably as a resource center. And that's the goal. There's been so much inquiry and interest from day one when we talk about library. Gregorio said, can you restart the English class? Because Brother Eldridge has been doing it for so long and so successful. Everyone's so interested and really want to have the English classes. So it's been pushing on to us this idea a long, long time. We also be working on older. So we'll be working from 12 to 18. That's another group. And also professional. So a lot of the students here have the fundamentals. They just need the environment, and they keep coming to us and say, I want to speak. I just want to have a chance to speak. So there's a demand there. So I hope with this conversational classes that Natalie's structuring up right now, would be able to have a full year curriculum or classes or sessions for interested students to come of that age group all the way up to have conversation on a regular basis. And I think that's what's needed to complement with the English classes in the school here.
We have Arelis Mendoza volunteered to come and teach Spanish. So yes, she started with one class, and then because the levels are quite different, she increased to 2 and then to 3, but it's very popular, and she's a great teacher. In the next week or two, we're going to be putting out a wish list. So I know sometimes you don't want to just give money and you don't know what it's going for. So we're laying out, you can donate, and I don't have the numbers yet, but X amount of money, and that pays for 1 square meter of the flooring. Or you can donate enough money to replace a window. We did it very successfully with the lights and the fans. I put out a message on Facebook. We had our Be a Light campaign, and for $25 you buy a light, and we had the money for all of our lights in 2 days. Actually, we had more than we needed, so that was great. So I'm hoping we can do that for the flooring, the windows,
the paint, and then eventually the shelves.
The furniture.
The furniture.
Because that's going to be a major expense. And then we need to start a campaign for people to give monthly. And I think even if we don't get a big donor, there's enough people who can give $10 or $20 a month on a regular basis that will cover our operating expenses. And that would be a very comfortable way to do it, because if one person drops out, we can replace them. If you have a major donor drop out, then you have a problem, right? But not that we don't want major donors. We want major donors too.
I think it's a
We're very
combination of
happy.
both.
One of the ways that we've raised money that's been popular, we started with the black and white bash. We were given the use of Kids World for free, and we brought in a musician and we served drinks. The quilt house has been very generous. They donated a quilt to us, so we did a raffle for that. We had the black and white bash. People loved it. So then we did a Halloween party, and it was a costume party, and there were prizes for the best costume. And after that, we planned the Christmas ugly sweater party. And so we will be doing more parties like that in the future. It's a good opportunity to get out and dance and see your friends and not have one person responsible for everything. We've also had several bazaars here. We did a Christmas bazaar, and the vendors love it, and they ask us to do more.
Donations. I mean, one of our board members donated a motorcycle, so we were able to raffle it off and raise a couple $1,000. That's also very significant for us. Using Inside successfully the last few times to also give away books. And that was very, very good, very rewarding for us to see the interest of community here of taking books. Despite the fact that a lot of people told me, oh, people here, kids here do not like books. It's not true. It's not true. They get so excited when they flip those pages. And it's just really rewarding to see that. The administration cost is actually very low. It's to make sure that we have enough money to buy books. That to us is a major chunk of money. We want to make sure that we have new books, up-to-date books for children, interesting books for teenagers. And we have donations of computers. But I think today a lot of young people have their little using their phone anyway. But we provide internet. It's being provided free from San Benito, so we have it hooked up already. So those are there, and then the educational software have been offered to us to use. So that also could be, once the internet set up, then they can use it, not only just books. But we all felt that books has a different feeling to it, has a different meaning to it. We have a small room there doing all the categorizing and all the books and sectioning all up, rewrapping a lot of books because a lot of them are very old. So we rewrap them, categorizing and put it in the computer, so it's already in the system. So we have 7,000 already in the system. So we have set up separate committee to evaluate. The first thing, of course, is the construction. So we went through a bit of a system to set up a bidding system, set up an evaluation system, and a committee to evaluate all what to do, what to use, how to use it, so that we can build the library. So all these are accountable. Everything that we did, we're all clear in accounting. Why should we spend that? How do we do that? And all went through the committee to look through that with the best value and with the best results. And so that's where we are right now. I was saying earlier, we are right now about half. My thinking is about half. The structure's all done, but as you can see, there's still a lot of refurbishing to be done on the outside, inside. The major thing has been done, but the floor has to be done. And then the next big things on the agenda is the furnishing. The bookshelves, we're still trying to decide what the bookshelf is good. Is it a wood bookshelf or metal bookshelves? Because Chris mentioned about, the functionality. Those are the things we have to pay attention to so that we can actually buy or install the best possible type of bookshelf with longevity, functionality into it. So that's the next things we do. And the third thing that eventually the fundraising committee has been working and will be working very hard is to look at the long-term operation expenses. We have very small budget for that. Basically is to have a assistant librarian, and then maintenance, and then yearly we need to buy some books. That's pretty much all that we need to spend. The utilities, electricity, water, etc., are being provided to us by San Benito free of charge. So that's very, very nice. So everyone contribute a little bit on that one. But the next thing is making sure that we have a continuous support from the community to pay for these monthly expenses, even though small, but we still need to have some security on that one. And I think that's also one of the urgency that I have, is to try to get it done this year, because it's been ongoing for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, while we're working very hard to making sure all the process being done. But a lot of community people might not have seen the changes in here. They've seen that you talked about 2.5 years ago, and I've seen some. That's why the community has been, in the last few months, say, let's do a little bit and show it. Let's do a little bit and show it, so that people are aware that actually they have progress. But at the end of the day, it's still be, if you look back, people say, but it's been ongoing for 2.5 years. What happened to you guys? Why are you not completing it? People might start to lose his patience and might lose his enthusiasm and his support, because you don't see the end result. So to me, I really want to put this year, June, to have us deliver to the community. So that's the urgency in us. In the next month, this coming 2 months, I think we're going to be continue to work on the renovation with the budget that we have. So our committee will be working very hard to making sure that we can allocate sufficient funds chunk by chunk to do bit by bit, and then so that we can complete it on time, and also projecting enough time of money that we need for the fundraising committee to have sufficient time to raise those funds for the next stages that I mentioned earlier. The equipments, the furnishings, and then the monthly expenses. So those are all has to be in the pipeline before we can actually officially so-called open. The budget that we have is small enough, but I think
It will be done.
yeah, it will be done, and I think
It will be done.
yes. What I hope to do is to, maybe through this channel, is to appeal to the community and to the people who read it of the nature of this library. What's it for? It's a small project, but it's an important project for the community, because there is really no decent library in Tierra Altas. That was the information we received. And we thought this is a very important service that we can provide to the community, particularly today with so much more competition coming on. For the community to have a venue where they can continue to search and educate themselves, I think is very, very important. And I hope to appeal to people who read it or listen to it to understand the significance of this library, and in whatever small way, be it in their service or be it in monetary donations or maybe even in spirit support. I think it's actually very, very important to build this community spirit, to say this is a good project and let's do something about it, and give us some feedback on that, and then make it work and make it presence in this library. Despite over 10 years of non-function, it can reopen and get some excitement to the community. And that would be my hope and my appeal to the people who listen to this.